Hello everyone, MSRNDA 2007 here, and in this episode of Radios in Depth, I'm going to be reviewing the Radio Shack 12250. So, yeah, here we go. So before I get into any of the quirks and features of this radio, as I pull a Doug DeMuro, I'm going to go and give a quick little overview of it. So as you can see on top, we have the speaker, screen, alert level, indicators, our three buttons, and under here is the keypad. And then here in the bottom left we have the power/volume switch and the tone slider control. There is nothing on the left or right side of the radio. On the bottom we have the battery compartment, date and manufacturer sticker, serial number, FCC sticker, the sticker that shows the model number and the frequencies, and ETL listed, and then the high risk of electric shock sticker that we see on a lot of radios. And then in the back we have the external antenna jack, another external antenna area, switch that switches it between normal and programming antenna, and the power cable. So now I'm going to get into the first feature of this radio, and that will be the siren. So the siren on the Radio Shack 12250. Now most people think that there's no way to sound the siren unless you self-activate it, but actually if you power off the radio, press the off button and power it on, it'll go into a test mode. And when I press the alert button, it will sound the warning, watch, and statement siren. So yeah, here, with that being said, here we go. And then the tone switch down here, if I turn this up, it adjusts the volume of the siren. So yeah, and then there's a different siren for the required weekly test, required monthly test, and I think Tune TV, which is no longer used. There's a different siren for that, but I'm not going to demonstrate it. One, because it's not that easy to self-activate this radio, and two, it's been heard in some of my required weekly test videos, which at this point that I'm recording this video, I haven't uploaded any required weekly test clips in a couple months, but I think I've uploaded one or two that feature this. So yeah. So the next thing that I'm going to demonstrate on this radio is the button beeps. So yeah. So the button beeps on the Radio Shack 12250. Oh, fail. Forgot to power it back on. Alright. So the button beeps on the Radio Shack 12250.
Tuesday. Cloudy.
Well, actually, it'd probably be easier for me to demonstrate in the program menu. So, valve button beeps. So those are the valve button beeps, and then invalid. Those are invalid, and then valid. And also, this tone switch down here not only controls the volume of the siren, it also controls the volume of the button beeps. So valid, invalid. So, yeah. So, the next thing I'm going to review on this radio will be the antenna. So, yeah. So, the antenna on the Radio Shack 12250. So, like most radios, the 12250 has a telescopic antenna. And take the camera off tripod. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 links that you can pull out. And just like the antenna on the 12519, which, let me get the antenna on the 12519 so I can be able to compare it. That is one thing that I like about 12519, and I'll get into it when I do the radios in depth episode on this, is that you can actually remove the antenna. So, let me go ahead and pull up the antenna on 12519. So, if we compare the antennas, they're basically the same antenna. They're about the same length. They're basically about the same length. In fact, I think they are. Let me just... I think they're basically about the same length. Yeah, they are. And also, they have the same thing on top. The same dome. So, if we compare the antennas, they both have the little line up here. So, yeah. And also, the antenna on 12519 also has 4 links. So, they're basically the same antenna, except the antenna on 12250 can't be removed unless you unscrew it from inside the radio. But the antenna on 12519 can. So, like I said, they're basically the same antenna. In fact, in theory, if you were to unscrew the screw here, unscrew this antenna with the screw down there, and you were to install this antenna on there, it'd be the same. Probably. Then, let me go ahead and reinsert the antenna on 12519. There we are. So, yeah. But that's not the only antenna on the 12250. There's also 2 different external antenna connections. So if I lower the telescopic one, you can see here there's a external antenna jack that can be used with one of those CB radio antennas. Actually, I don't think you can use that. But, you know, you can hook an external antenna there. But there's also this. Now, this is old. You can actually use a wire as a external antenna. Or wait, no, that's alarm out. I've never noticed that. I thought this was a external antenna. Also external antenna. You learn stuff every day. Well, that's weird. Anyways, so yeah, you got the external antenna here, which you can use for self-activation. Now, self-activating this radio. I'm not going to do it in this video, but basically how you self-activate this radio. You get your standard. You get your standard self-activation cord. This is my backup. This is my backup cord. But basically same thing. Well, actually, let me get my main cord, since that's most likely what people are going to have. I have two self-activation cords. My primary cord and then my backup, my secondary cord. So this is the cord that most people will have for self-activation. So basically, you stick one part of the cord in, one side of it in the external antenna jack, and also you make sure that the radio is on channel 2. And then you stick the other end of it somewhere on the antenna. So, yeah. So that's how you self-activate this radio, is you plug one part of it in there, and then the other, and then you put this on the antenna. And then of course you have the standard headphone jack that goes to your older iPhone or iPod. So yeah, most people nowadays are will probably most likely use an iPod, unless they don't own an iPod. And if someone doesn't own an iPod, then either they need to get one, or if they have a iPhone 6 or lower, they can use their phone. Because the iPhone 6 has a headphone jack. The iPhone 6s were the last one to have a headphone jack. Now, all of us iPhone users, with the iPhone 7 and up, you have to use this little adapter. I have an iPhone 7, so you have to use this adapter, which you can't use an iPhone 7 up to self-activated radio. So yeah, because of that, you can't do self-activation using that dongle with the iPhone 7. In fact, you can't use it with any device at all using that dongle. It has to be through an actual headphone jack. So yeah, anyways, so I guess that's the only external antenna jack. I seriously thought that was external antenna right here, but apparently it isn't. Anyways, so the next thing I'm going to get into will be the reception. So yeah. So reception on the Radio Shack 12250. So that's WXK85, and then I just flipped the switch on the back to switch it from normal mode to program mode. Then I have to take this cover off the keypad. So
this is your weather radio station WXK85 in Oklahoma City, operating on a frequency of 162.40 megahertz. Programming originates from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Norman, Oklahoma.
It's 214, that's why the call sign, or the station ID just played. Because it's 214. They do that every 15 minutes.
Through tonight, no hazardous weather is expected. Days
Now I can't really get anything. Although, actually, let me turn this off. I'm going to put this back in that test mode.
Weather.gov.
There we are.
/Norman and follow.
So I can't really get anything.
Central, northern. Northern Texas.
Put back in normal mode. So I can't really get anything on the 12250. I can only get WXK5. Which, that's not a big deal, though, because I wouldn't use this radio for DXing anyway. For one thing, it's hard to switch the channel on it, and two, it can't log alerts. If I need to have another radio, if I need to have radio on like KJY95 or something, then most likely I'll use my WR300s since they log alerts. So, yeah. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal that I can only get WXK5 on here because I wouldn't use this radio for DXing anyway. I wouldn't use it for DXing, and if I need to have another radio, if I need to have a radio on like KJY94 or KJY95, then I'll use my WR300s most likely. One of them. So, yeah. So the next thing I'm going to get into on this radio will be the Defeat Siren. So, yeah. So the Defeat Siren, or the alert disable. So as you can see here, I've gone back into programming mode. First thing it shows is channel selection, and then also, so on this radio you only have voice and alert as far as what's it called, the alert type. Now you can have this radio on display. The way you put this radio on display mode is kind of like you do on the WR300s. You press and hold alert for a few seconds. Seems like it's 4 seconds. So, yeah. That's how you do display. And then for voice and alert, you select that here in the menu. Oops. So, put it on voice. Continuous backlight. Yes, for the sake of video. Multiple or single same codes. Multiple. Location 1, I have it set to I'll program this later. I'll have to go back through the programming for that. You can add 15 same codes, and this thing doesn't exactly do well in the menu. So, you can barely see that. Severe thunderstorm watch. And then, severe weather statement. Special weather statement. Flash flood watch. Yeah, flash flood watch. Flash flood warning. Flash flood statement, flood watch, flood warning, flood statement, winter storm watch, winter storm warning, blizzard warning, high wind watch, high wind warning. What's this? Hurricane watch, hurricane statement, coastal flood watch, coastal flood warning, special marine warning, avalanche watch, avalanche warning, volcano watch, volcano warning, and the backlight came back on, so I'm gonna go and put the camera back on tripod. Monthly test, yes, even though Norman done tone those. Test message, yes. Then unknown statement, demo message, so that's practice demo, yes. Check selected. And then no. Multiple, yes. Local 1, yes, 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 yes. Now I can go and put it back in normal mode. So basically I just went through the entire menu. So yeah. So next I'm going to get into my general opinion / final thoughts. So yeah. So, I am stupid. I forgot about the speaker. So, yeah. So the speaker on the 12-250, it's a pretty good speaker. I believe it's a 2-inch speaker, I think. I don't have a ruler to measure it, but I assume it's probably a 2 or 3-inch speaker. You can kind of see it here. Probably about a 2 or 3-inch speaker. Overall, it sounds pretty good.
Days 2 through 7, Monday through Saturday. Freezing temperatures are expected Tuesday morning in northwestern Oklahoma. Similar conditions are expected Wednesday morning.
Now, admittedly, it doesn't sound too good when you have it on a higher volume, but...
Issued. Thunderstorms. There is a chance for thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. Get graphics and more details at weather.gov/Norman and follow our weather forecast office on Twitter and Facebook.
So, on lower volumes, it sounds pretty good. On higher volumes, it doesn't sound that good. But personally,
When possible. Where?
this is the volume that you really should have it on. You don't need it on high volume. I mean,
Southwest and western.
you don't need it that loud. There's no reason you need it to be that loud.
Tuesday morning. Impacts. Frost and freeze conditions could kill crops. Another.
So, yeah. So now I'm going to get into my general opinion or final thoughts / general opinion of this radio. So, yeah. So, I forgot another thing on this radio. It happened again. So, now I'm going to get into the ways that you can be able to power this radio. So, of course, the primary way that you can power this radio is via the power cable, which unfortunately cannot be unplugged from the radio. And the cable is actually pretty long. I'd say it's probably 5 foot, 10 foot cable. So that's the primary way that you can power this radio. And then the second way you can power it is via the 9-volt battery. This does take, like most older radios, it does take a 9-volt battery. So, yeah. Like most radios manufactured in 1999. Well, actually, most radios by 1998, 1999, used AA batteries, but there were still a few in 1998 and 1999 that use 9-volt batteries. Like the Midland 74-200, it used a 9-volt battery. The Midland 74-109, which the 74-109 was actually still being manufactured in 1999. Well, I'm not sure about 1999, but it was definitely still being manufactured in 1998, because I think I've said this before, but I have the box to a 74-109. I don't have a 74-109, but I have the box to one. And it has documentation there that is copyright 1998. So, yeah. I'm gonna go and plug in this battery here. This battery says December 2020, but it still works. Go and put that in there. Put the cover back on. Power the radio on. Now I'm going to, if I disconnect the power cable, as you can see here, is now on the 9-volt battery. So now I'm going to plug the cable back in and take the 9-volt battery out. Because I don't need the 9-volt battery in there. Because if I ever have to take shelter, I'll most likely take one of my WR300s. So, go and take the battery out. And plus, I don't want to have to try and plus, I don't want to have to run around like a chicken trying to find a 9-volt battery whenever our smoke alarms, well, one of our smoke alarms batteries die, and it decides to be annoying at 3 a.m. For some reason, every time the 9-volt battery in one of our smoke alarms die, it's usually between 1 and 3 a.m. I don't know why, but it's always between 1 and 3 a.m. whenever the battery in one of our smoke detectors, or smoke alarms, decides to die. It's always between 1 and 3 a.m. So, yeah. So now, I'm going to get into the final thoughts / general opinion of this radio. So, yeah. So, the final thoughts / general opinion of this radio. Overall, it's a pretty good radio. Do I recommend that you get it as your first ever weather radio? No, I don't, because for one thing, it's hard to program, and also it doesn't have some of the modern alerts, and also it has some alerts that no longer exist. Well, either they no longer exist or they've been replaced. Like Tune TV. Tune TV or Tune Television. That no longer exists. I think that was meant for emergency action notification and a couple other alerts, but all the alerts that Toon TV was used for have all either been replaced, or they're no longer in use. So they've been either replaced or they're no longer in use. Like emergency action notification, that's no longer used. So all the stuff that would require emergency action notification are now, if they were to happen, then they'll get relayed as either a civil danger warning or a civil emergency message, which I didn't see civil emergency message on here. In fact, I've self-activated this radio for a civil emergency message, and it showed up as an unknown warning. So that's kind of a big thing. And also, getting into the program menu. Sometimes, I think that I'm pretty sure that it is, I'm sure it's a problem on some other 12250s, but on mine, sometimes when you flick the switch on back from normal to programming, sometimes it doesn't manage to get into it. Sometimes when you flip it, it'll go, the screen, it'll basically power off. Well, it won't power off all the way, but it'll go into kind of like a fail-safe, where the screen will be blank, the speaker will be making weird noises, and the lights will be flashing like crazy. Which also, I forgot to show you the lights on here. So, on here, we have warning, watch, and a pretty green statement light. So, yeah, you have warning, watch, and a pretty green statement light. Why? Why do people say it like that? If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up some videos of people unboxing the WR100 version 1 and version 2. And you'll know what I'm talking about. In saying the pretty green statement light. Instead of saying the pretty green statement light, pretty green statement light is how some people say that. Like I said, if you wanna, I'm not the only one who does that. In fact, I almost never say pretty green statement light, but some people do. So if you want proof that I'm not insane, and other people in the weather and EAS community say pretty green statement light, then look up people unboxing the Midland WR100 version 1 and version 2. So, yeah. So, warning, watch, and statement. So, yeah. Red warning light. Actually, let me put it back in test mode. You see here, red warning light, a yellow watch light. Actually, the watch light is actually orange. Well, it looks orange. It's probably yellow, but it looks orange to me. Like normal watch lights, but on the camera it shows as yellow, but I think it's orange. Let me actually compare it to the oops. So to me it looks orange, but on camera it shows up as yellow. So here's a watch light on the WR400 and the watch light on the 12250. It looks orange to me, but the watch light looks yellow on here. on the camera. But to me, it looks orange. Comparing it to the watch line, the WR400. And then... And then, like I said, it does look yellow on camera, but to me it looks orange. So, yeah. So it looks orange to me, but it looks yellow on camera. It probably is meant to be yellow, but it just looks orange. It kind of looks like a yellowish orange. But, yeah. So yeah, overall it's a pretty nice radio. Now one thing that is kind of a disadvantage is the power cable is stuck in the radio. You can't unplug it. That is kind of a disadvantage because say you have this radio set up on a table or something and your dog or something were to chew on the cable. I don't have to deal with this, but some people do. Some people say that you have this radio sitting on a table, like in the middle of your room or something, and your dog were to chew on the cable, and the cable ends up breaking, and the radio can't power on. Then there are two things. You have two options. Either you run it off the 9-volt battery. Either you run off the 9-volt battery, or you order a new power cable, or you take the power cable off of an old lamp or something that doesn't work, but you know the power cable works. Unscrew the 4 screws here, 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 and here, and there's another in the battery compartment, but you unscrew the 6 screws here, 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 and here. Open the back cover, desolder the power cable, and solder on the new one. So, yeah. But overall, it's a pretty nice little radio. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. And have a nice day.